Welcome back to the Anachroschism. When we left off last time, the party had reunited at Sheepstop Hollow and had some things happen recently. After leaving, well, the part of the group that left Glen Kogo, they came back. They had some arrangements set up for the future potentially, but upon their arrival back at the ranch, they discovered a couple things. One, the group that was returning found a group of people kind of stowing themselves away in an underground compartment of some kind. And two, upon rooting out those people, dragging them back to the ranch for questioning, they also discovered a mysterious chest located underneath the floorboards on the first floor of the ranch. For the time being, they've tossed that in the bag of holding. And now, as the sun sets and the evening time approaches, they start to ready their defenses for an attack that they think could be coming. So, we left off last time with essentially you guys tossing the box in the bag of holding. Rollins was out in the patio keeping watch. Millicent was inside the house, and you all had gathered inside the house to check out the box when it happened. What would you like to do in anticipation of whatever might be coming next?
To be returned to later, for the record, the box.
To never be heard from
it's cool,
again.
but throw it away. Oh, it's whatever.
Yeah, no, that's like.
Is there a back
morning.
door to this house?
Yes.
I'm gonna put the rug of awesomeness in front of the back door, inside the house.
Oh, hey, good
Okay.
idea.
Oh yeah, I'm tactical.
I'm gonna
Crash,
go
you
to the
got this.
roof. I'm
Of
gonna
course.
stealth on the roof. Do you have like a?
Well, I went up on the roof, and so did Tessian at one point. So if you go in through my room, you can get up on the roof easily.
Is there like a tall like a water tower or something that's like nearby? That's I'm thinking of a quiet place where I could like, or maybe a corn mill. That would work as
The
well.
highest point on the ranch, which is still not very high, is on top of the barn, which is taller than the house is, despite it being 2 stories, but it's not a whole lot higher
How
than the house
far
itself.
is the barn though? Is it like kind of far?
A few hundred feet.
Oh,
It's a-
100
it's a,
feet,
It's,
yeah.
it's a few hundred feet. It's
Yeah.
not super far, but it is not like next to the house.
Yeah, I'm not even there for the fight. Yeah, I'll go to the top of the house.
Things are great over here.
Yeah. Is it a 2-story house?
Yes.
Oh hell yeah! I'll go to the top of the house.
Okay. Karash, you're putting the rug out does get a bit of a weird look from Millicent, but it's easy enough to explain, what what that is. But they're just for that moment where you're laying this down in front of the back door, she's like, how is that helping? But it's quickly explained.
Yeah, we explained to her like, don't step on it.
Yeah.
No. I want to explain to her how to activate it so that if she's in the back of the house when shit gets dirty, she can say the word.
What is the word?
Tesseract.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's appropriate because of the name of this show and the name of the source it comes from. It's fine. Well, it
In my
depends on
head,
which
I
source,
just
I suppose. A
Tricked
Wrinkle in Time.
Karash into saying it, and it went on him. but
Right,
I
and
know
it
this
swallowed up
isn't
Grail's
actually-
mom.
Yeah.
How does it work? This is how.
So I just say Tesseract.
And she can't say it again when she's inside, so someone else would have to release her. What's everybody else up to?
I think Tessian's gonna hang out with Karash. You're my best haste buddy, I think. So,
We put the box in the hole of holding or bag of holding, didn't we?
In the hole of bagging? Yes.
The
Hole
whole
of bagging. Paper or plastic?
It's a castle for holding stuff.
Yes,
I'm
which I
gonna.
think I have that bag.
Yes.
so.
I'm gonna go hang with my dad, probably in the front. No.
That's where he's stationed. He's pulled the rocking chair out onto the patio, the front patio, and is sitting there with a shotgun.
Yeah, I'm going full protector mode. I'm gonna be out there with him too.
Okay.
I guess that's probably... The mom's going to be inside in the kitchen? Is that the plan, or the back door?
She's sort of looking for direction, but she doesn't mind keeping an eye on the back door, especially if she has
Yeah.
a thing she can sort of do. She's not.
Yeah.
She's not really like. She doesn't really have any way to defend herself per se. But if she can keep an eye on the door and also have that as a fallback, she doesn't mind keeping a watch on the back door.
Cool. Yeah, I'll go out front then.
I guess that's where I am. So,
Yeah. Maybe I'll go up on the roof too, just for another set of eyes up above.
I don't know what happened the last time you went on a roof.
Hey, I was a cat that time. Things are gonna be different this time.
Okay.
I will
But
not
you-
be jumping.
But you do better like in the thick of things, right? As like for your character, or is that
oh.
not the case?
I don't know. Sure.
Yeah,
Depends.
You're going to go like bear style. That's useful.
Animal style.
Go to a
Is
bear, fall through the roof.
Animal style is better than the thick of things, but spellcasting would be better from up there.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, I'll chill up there for the first part, and then if I decide to go dragon on everyone, I I can do that.
Can you fly? That dragon can't fly.
The big one?
No, right?
The big one can fly at hovering height,
Oh, okay.
so it can't like go up, but,
But
it can.
it could gently fall down.
Yeah, and it can get high enough to where like it could come down from like 30 feet and
I can
coast
crush
the rest
people.
of the way. Sure.
Yes.
Crash, that is the right reaction. This from the same person who was burning bodies just yesterday.
I'm supposed to be the kind of like unhinged guy who's willing to hurt people to get what he wants. Yet she's the one who's burning shit.
Hey.
Crash really hasn't done
Excuse
anything
me.
since he horribly butchered that guy on the docks of Sagara Cove.
It's because everybody keeps interfering.
Yeah, thank God I'm around.
Like he cut the succubus's head off and nobody had qualms with that. And other than that, he's been pretty tame.
The Gorgon's head. I cut the Gorgon's head too.
That's true. You've been collecting heads.
Well, I don't think. Yeah, I think the Gorgon's head is somewhere around here still. I haven't actually done anything with it.
Is one
I
of them in the
brought it
bag of
back.
holding? Did you just put a mysterious magic black box inside a bag of holding that also has a creature's severed head?
Who, me?
Good to know.
Yeah, probably.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it was necromantic in any way, so
No.
like, it should be fine.
I'm sure there won't be any
Oh, that's fun.
Oh.
fallout from that.
Can have somebody we don't like put their hand in first.
All right. Anyways, you guys, after everybody is sort of dealing with the fallout of the box and kind of off put by what that is and not really sure, but wanted to deal with it later. Grail's parents, well, Millicent in particular, whips up a quick meal so that you're ready for the night's watch beforehand. So everybody's, fed and stuff before you take your various positions in front of / atop the house.
Are we just leaving the peeps like in the barn? They're tied up. We're just gonna leave them there.
I mean, they're very securely tied up. I tied them up with all the rope and then chains.
That's true. You are good with knots. And are we gonna feed them at all? We just gonna let them hang?
Shh! Don't
That'd be
ask
a
questions you
question.
don't want the answers to.
Yeah, he'll feed them all right.
I mean, to be fair, it's only I gave one some water, and it's only
Yeah.
been
It hasn't been
a
long.
few hours.
And let's not pretend they deserve better.
I mean, that's a little harsh, but
That is. They're misguided. Anyway.
They didn't
Misguided.
ask for this. They
Well-
just wanted to live.
Uh-huh.
So, you guys take your various positions as the sun has essentially set at this point. There's still a bit of faint light left in the sky, but for the most part, especially out here in the middle of nowhere, as the ranch is, you
Before
can...
we do that, I want to draw a giant
See.
symbol of cord around the house.
around the entire house.
As best I can. If it seems untenable, then no. But if it seems like it's something that could reasonably be done within like 10 minutes, sure.
Fine.
you're gonna throw it your back though. Just bending it down with
There's
chalk.
probably...
Just the dirt. I was just gonna do it in dirt. It's not like the concrete around the house. I left my sidewalk chalk at home.
I imagine Rollins just kind of looking on like,
Yeah, you do feel his eyes trained on you as you cross the front porch.
Yeah.
As you
And he
make
had,
your
like-
circle.
I imagine like looking at me like with a silent question like, what is your companion doing? And I'm just going to shake my head like, don't ask.
I think Rollins just thinks it's the worst makeshift trench he's ever seen.
Yeah.
That's
Aw.
not going to save anybody if the things start getting hairy, but all right, whatever. Where the hell was I before I got interrupted for a cliff of cord? Right. The stars are already kind of shining through in this remote location without any real lights other than inside the house. You can already kind of see them even though the full night sky hasn't made itself available yet. Clear skies in the evening, decent amount of moonlight, so you can still kind of see across a decent amount of the plains as you look out to primarily the north, especially the folks on the roof. You guys can kind of canvass the whole area, keep your eyes in all directions as well, but you guys know, especially you and Grail in particular, that traffic tends to come to and from the north at this place. It's why there's that kind of worn-in path in that direction. Everybody make a perception check. I'll do one For Rollins, ooh. He doesn't get to add a whole lot, though, unfortunately. Still, 18.
27.
Damn.
13.
11s.
I'm going slowly.
Moving very
Moving very slowly. Very slowly, baby.
22.
16. Good thing I'm on the roof.
Some time passes. You weren't able to get a whole lot out of the people that you questioned, other than the fact that there was potentially something happening this evening. But as the first hour, hour and a half passes, it's quiet. You hear the occasional sheep bleating, but for the most part, things are not eerily quiet, not like too quiet, just idyllic, really. It's quiet like you would expect life on the ranch to be. It's kind of pleasant. If you weren't worried about what potentially might be happening, it would be a little bit more pleasant, but unfortunately. Lena, from your position up on the roof, as the sky is now turned fully to night at this point, you see what appears to be 6 figures approaching from the north. And it's not too long, maybe a minute tops, before Grail, you can spot them as well.
Okay. I will whisper to Isaac and tell him to get ready and we have company, and then point in the direction of the 6 figures.
I ask you what they... Well, I guess I can look. If I look over where she nudged me, can I kind of... What do I see? Is it just their silhouettes kind of because it's dark?
Yeah, dark and distant to the point where, I mean, a couple might appear like they might be taller than the others, but they're way too far off to find anything distinguishing about them yet.
I throw like a little pebble or something at Tessian to get his attention. And then I just like...
What do you want?
I just like, and then I just point.
You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
What?
No, that's fine. Ooh, my cheek.
My ego. Yeah, Tessie looks. I mean, I assume he's like, oh, okay. Gotta wait for these guys to get here.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, so I also will see them. I'll nudge my dad, and kind of just like point with my chin kind of in the direction where they are. And I'm going to actually, I'm not going to say anything because I want to follow my, like, Rollins, his lead, because I don't think it's his ranch.
Okay.
Oh, I guess I'll tell Crash. That'd be helpful. You know, just Crash. It looks like we have company coming.
He goes bounding
from the north.
I'm gonna take a dead eye aim at them too, like bracing my hand on my hand as such. How far are they away? Abouts.
Oh, we're talking like a mile.
Okay.
They're outside your range.
wait,
But
then.
you'll have the first...
Yeah.
You'll be the first person that could potentially do something about that when they get inside your range, yeah, because you have the furthest range of the party. So, yeah, they... you couldn't even hit them from here.
No.
But, yeah, they're a ways
Not with
off.
a handgun.
Yeah, exactly. You're just shooting and hoping to get lucky. They have rules for, like, disadvantage when you're firing outside a certain range. This would be, like, roll 5 times, take the lowest.
Yeah.
Hey, 5 natural 20s, anything can happen. Anybody can get hit by a stray bullet, like looking about New Year's Eve. That's actually kind of sad. I don't know if I like that reference I made. You guys are now kind of trained on this group as it seems to be sort of heading your direction off in the distance, but you watch as the figures are getting slightly larger as though they're approaching, but there's a point at which they kind of curtail off and head east.
Towards the thing, the underground bunker?
Potentially, yes.
Ooh. Okay.
I'll holler to Ma to look out for folks a coming. Except she's not my mother and I don't have a southern accent.
Hey, Ma, my name's Crash. She says, I will. Haven't seen nothing yet. You watch as the figures head to the east. And that silence that has permeated the ranch maintains itself. These guys are too far away to even hear even the hint of conversation. But that changes abruptly when you hear a and then a blood-curdling scream.
Oh my god.
And while the figures were moving in some sort of uniform, methodical pattern before, as soon as this noise hits, you can see them, again, very small and off on the horizon, sort of moving about much more helter-skelter, seemingly set into a panic by what you can certainly guess may have happened.
Good. Good.
I'm going to glow ever so slightly with a big smile on my face.
What's our lighting situation with the house?
The interior of the house is lit, and there's a light on the patio.
Tessie would suggest maybe we like dim everything so it looks like we're all asleep. See if that can kind of goad them into moving closer. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if anybody else wants to do that or not.
Huh.
Also, to give Lena the one advantage she has in that none of the rest of us have night vision.
Though it would
Good,
be easier
yes.
to actually see in the night if we don't
Yeah.
have those lights on anyway. So
Yeah, if you're looking out in the distance.
We can be
Yeah.
like the Hawkeye and Roy Mustang. You tell me where to shoot. and
Yeah.
I'll shoot.
I am the night after all.
You guys listen for a bit, especially those of you that went out there, knowing that you set a second trap. You can almost now hear what sounds like some kind of yelling. Again, way too far away to make out anything resembling the content of it, but you do hear what sounds like voices off in the distance as they are scurrying to figure out what has happened. There is no point at which you hear the second trap go off and or any other screams. You do hear a gunshot, the sound of which
Holy shit.
echoes across the expanse of the plane with very little to stop it from carrying across the distance.
Hopefully they had the horse go down the stairs first. And that's what happened.
And a few moments pass after that, and you see what appears to be 5 silhouettes now approaching the ranch's direction.
Oh dear.
It's Cavis.
A very angry Cavis.
So, the silhouettes continue to increase in size as you can still pick them off from a distance. Still not inside the ranch land itself, but maybe approaching more like a half mile away now. There really is no doubt about their intent or purpose. They are heading straight from what was that location that you guys sussed out to the ranch itself. They continue walking. A couple of them seem taller than the other 3. Hard to make out how noticeably so, but to the point where even at this distance it's kind of easy to tell, so probably means something. And at a certain point, as they get to about the exterior fence of the ranch, they are sort of in range for you, Isaac, if you were going to shoot at them. It would be at disadvantage.
But I still don't see anything about them, so...
Not especially,
Yeah,
no.
I'm not the guy who would just start firing. Let me think. No, I don't think I do anything yet.
The 5 of them get within about, I don't know, a couple 100 feet. To the point now where most of you can see them. Lena, in a sense, it's a little bit easier for you because of your dark vision, even though this extends beyond dark vision's range. Just in general, you're better at seeing things in the dark. Maybe because you're animal form tie-ins. I can't talk. You, Lena, recognize 2 of them.
I do.
It's the
Okay.
2 that have been to the ranch before.
Oh.
There are also 3 others that everybody can recognize, even though it's a little hard to make out because of the darkness that you're facing. But with the moonlight and whatnot, you can see that they do indeed have customary Blades black leather armor on. But the main 2 that Grail and Lena have encountered before are also there, not donned in the same stuff. But similar attire to what you saw the last time. There's a taller female with form-fitting black attire, but it doesn't have the Blades emblem on it. And then a shorter either gnome or dwarf that you've never really got an up-close look at to know for sure, but someone who's more short and stocky. You can kind of make out what appears to be a pretty full and lush beard, but other details are kind of difficult at this distance, at this light. And the female elf kind of speaks out, and she says, "Well, we just thought we'd come back and see if you had thought about our offer at all and what your response might be." And Rollins looks over at you, Grail, as if to see if you want him to respond.
And in response, I kind of like get my short bow out, and then I look at him kind of like assuredly, but I don't say anything out loud. I'm going to wait for him.
Okay. Rollins, who doesn't seem unsure of himself, but still seems a little bit uncertain about the situation in general, just kind of like feeling his way through this as he goes. He says, "Well, I did have pause to think about your offer, but I'm not so sure I approve of it. I think you haven't been totally forthcoming in regards to what y'all are doing here and why you need to just make this offer all of a sudden. So maybe you'd like to come discuss terms a little further." This merits a chuckle out of the female elf while the others remain silent. She says, "I think we're okay here, thanks. But it's a shame. I had heard that there had been trouble around here recently, and I don't want you folks to be put out by less than desirable folks wandering around your ranch."
I blurt out very like abruptly, "We can handle ourselves, thank you."
You can see just sort of nearly imperceptibly from this range, but still there's kind of like this reaction from her that essentially, at least from this range, looks like her just kind of shaking her head.
Mm-hmm.
She says, "I don't suppose you know what happened to some other undesirables that were around here, do you? Not that we would know anything about any groups of that nature, but we had heard there were some others around here who didn't check in."
I don't know what you're talking about.
Tessie is just chuckling. Just whatever.
Both sides playing the fool. I like it.
She looks over at the gnome / dwarf. It's a gnome. She looks over the gnome. She goes, "Hear that? She doesn't know what we're talking about." You kind of hear her. You kind of hear her sigh, even from this range. It's meant to be audible. It's not like a breathy sigh. It's a, like a. You ever heard that voicemail that girl sends where she sounds distraught and she's like, It's classic. Go check it out. It's really funny. It's almost actually sad too, but it's really funny. "I miss you and I love you." It sounds like a car ripping up. It's a sigh that's sort of like that, but not nearly so pathetic.
Okay, that's good.
I'm trying to give you context, but it's an obscure meme. It's fine. I thought maybe Michelle would have a chance.
Sorry.
That's fine. I'll show you later on the break.
Okay.
She sighs and she says, "Well, boys, it's time to get a little closer. Get up close and personal. What do you say?" And you watch as the three in Blades armor start to walk even closer to the ranch.
I'm going to yell out, "Stop right where you are. You'll be in a world of hurt."
She looks over at the gnome. She says we'll be in a world of hurt. The gnome, who has still not said anything in any of the excursions to the ranch at this point, just sort of grunts in an affirmative. It's the first thing that's audible that you've heard from him. Still nothing said in particular.
I knock back an arrow on my short bow and I fire.
Okay. Roll for an attack.
Okie doke.
I think
At her.
that's
I'm
going to
aiming
have to
at her.
be at disadvantage. What's the short bow's range?
Oh, it's at. I think it's. Let me actually see because it says 80 and then like 320, and I think that's if I have both. I'm not sure. Let me look.
320 should be long range, though, right? So then isn't long range?
So it means she can fire, but it's a disadvantage.
Yeah.
80 feet
Oh.
means it's full on attacks.
And how far away?
More than 80. They've just started walking a
Okay,
little bit.
let me
So you can
re-roll
open at
that.
them, but it will be a disadvantage.
Okay, I'll re-roll then.
How far from the time, especially because it's Grail and not like Karash, no offense, until I, like, if I'm like primed and ready to go and Grail fires, I would want to back her up. How long would I need to wait to do so?
I mean,
Like, if
If
I can
you-
just do it now, but I don't know if you're like, that starts initiative and now we have to like roll everything, or if I can just do that.
if you see the arrow hit, you'd probably have time to get a shot off.
Okay, 10.
10 to hit does not hit.
Okay. And for what it's worth, like, I don't... Like, I definitely was aiming to hit, but it's more of a warning than anything.
So you watch as the arrow from your short bow, which you know going in is a little bit out of its dearth here, is going to try. And you watch as the arrow sails past the heads of one of
That's
the
good.
Blades members and kind of lands in the
Sales
ground
past
behind.
is fine. I like that.
And they flinch, especially the one that was closest to, even though it wasn't super close to hitting him, it was still close enough to kind of give him pause. This merits a chuckle out of the Elvish woman as well. She says, "I don't know, boys. I think they mean business." And they look back at her for instruction because they're not entirely sure if she's being coy or if she wants them to keep going.
Ma'am, we're getting mixed signals.
Yeah. You said it was just farm folk. Now they're shooting arrows at us. That doesn't seem like what we were told. Seeing their hesitance, she says, "Go on. It's time to make their acquaintance. Keep going." And with a little more hesitancy than before, when they were just kind of walking forward, they resume their march forward, probably about 140, 130 feet away still.
All right.
So how far away is she now?
The two of the other two, they're not the Blaze guys. They're still about 200 feet.
Like the Elvish woman. And so oh God, what's my long range on a handgun?
I was wondering the same thing myself, but I don't have your sheet.
It's not great. I
Should be
don't
listed
think.
with your weapon. It's more than most bows I know. Is it on your sheet? Let's see. La-da-da-dee.
I can tell.
Probably not going to be the custom add those anyways.
Tessian does like lean over to Karash and is like, "Karash, we can't let the two ringleaders get away. If they make a break for it or combat breaks out, I'll give you that little boost that I gave you earlier."
Okay.
Tessian's like, "But just be prepared. We can have side effects, you know."
Page 3.
Oh, right. It made me exhausted, didn't it?
Well, yeah, you like lose a turn, but yeah.
Yeah.
60 feet on the short side, 240 on the long side.
Hell yeah.
But that means you're shooting with disadvantage.
No, because I took.
Oh yeah, you have sharpshooter. Yeah, so yep, you're good.
Oh my
That's
God.
why I was. As I said, I knew you had longer range for a reason. So
Yeah. So can I? So
you're
I
gonna open on her.
I think so. But I want to do. I think I want to do sharpshooter, and then I have Deadeye shot and violent shot. But I don't think I want to do violent shot, so I'm gonna do. Can I combine a Deadeye shot with sharpshooter? So I take a -5 to the roll, add 10 damage, but then I'm rolling on advantage.
Yep.
Cool.
Holy crap.
Let's do that.
Yep.
So
And her head explodes.
because I don't like her, and I feel bad about the people.
Yeah,
The-
I agree. I'm not gonna. Try
So
and kill those
18
guys.
to hit
That hits.
and 18 piercing damage.
Woo!
Ow.
Ow!
So from your
Nice.
position on the roof, you have already been kind of lining up this shot, keeping the gun trained on them since they got within range of the ranch in the first place. And seeing Grail fire and it not deter the group, you open up a shot yourself, and you watch as it grazes across the woman's cheek.
Perfect.
And she kind of recoils from it and like staggers back half a step. As she reorients herself and stands up, she says, "Well, I suppose they were serious after all. I suppose it's only fair if we return it in kind, huh? And everybody roll initiative."
Okay.
So I don't get to do any more, Chris. Is that kind of like a surprise round?
Essentially,
and now
right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's not a full... Oh, I need one for them, too. Okay.